Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Level-Headed News. I'm your host, Brenda. Have a special edition for you about the Oakland warehouse fire that happened yesterday. There's two articles that I have for you here to give you information on this. The first one is off of abcnews.go.com. It says 33 bodies recovered in Oakland warehouse fire. Search continues. Searchers have recovered 33 bodies, some of them 17-year-old or possibly younger, from the fire-ravaged warehouse in Oakland, California, that housed artist studios and was hosting a dance party when the deadly blaze broke out, officials said today. Sergeant Ray Kelly of the Alameda County Sheriff's Office warned that he anticipates that the number of victims will rise from the fire. Officials say may be the deadliest ever in Oakland. The search effort is expected to last for days, he said. Kelly called the number of deaths astronomical. Among the victims was the son of Alameda County Sheriff's deputy, officials said. Names of 6 of the 8 victims identified by the Alameda County Sheriff's Office Coroner's Bureau were released this evening after their families were notified. They were Cash Askew, age 22, of Oakland; David Klein, age 24, of Oakland; Nick Gomez Hall, age 25, of Coronado, California; Sarah Hoda, age 30, of Walnut Creek, California; Travis Ho, age 35, of Oakland; Donna Kellogg, age 32, of Oakland; and Brandon Chase Wittenauer, age 33, Hayward, California. Another victim was a 17-year-old whose name will not be released, according to a statement from the city of Oakland. Are asking families with missing loved ones to preserve DNA samples as a way of confirming the identities of those who died in the horrific blaze. The district attorney's office has criminal investigation teams actively looking at the fire, with other law enforcement agencies involved in investigating fire, according to a statement from the city of Oakland. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf told ABC News that she has ordered an investigation into the building's troubled history, including a complete review of the records of complaints. Libby also told ABC that she ordered an independent analysis into the city's handling of the building and others like it. The Oakland Fire Department responded to reports of a structure fire at the warehouse known as Ghost Ship on 31st Avenue at around 11:32 p.m. on Friday night. Oakland Fire Chief Teresa Deloach Reed said Ghost Ship appeared to function as a residential building that hosted a makeshift artist studio as well as parties like the one that took place Friday night. It's unclear if the building was equipped with smoke alarms, the fire chief added. Fire Department Battalion Chief Melinda Drayton told ABC News that firefighters have been impacted emotionally by the bodies found. She described the precarious scene firefighters have encountered inside of what is left of the warehouse, where the second floor is hanging just above the heads of search crews, with pianos, appliances, and other materials dangling from above. The preliminary indications suggest that the blaze was not caused by arson, but rather an electrical fire. The power went out inside the building when the fire began, and the flames blocked the building's only exit, making it difficult for people inside to escape. An official briefed on the ongoing investigation told ABC News. According to the Associated Press, Oakland officials said they had opened an investigation into the warehouse last month after repeated complaints from neighbors who said trash was piling up and people were illegally living in the building, which was zoned as a warehouse. Darren Ranatetti, I said that right, of the Oakland Planning Department told AP the city opened an investigation November 13th, and an investigator went to the premises on November 17th, but could not get inside. ABC Bay Area affiliate KGO-TV reported that Derek Ion, founder of the Ghost Ship Artist Collective, and ran it at the warehouse. ABC News reached out to Ian but did not immediately receive a response. Ian appeared to address the fire in Facebook post early on Saturday morning by saying that everything I worked for is gone. Confirmed everything I worked so hard for is gone. Blessed that my children and Micah were at a hotel safe and sound. It's as if I have awoken from a dream filled with opulence and hope to be standing now in poverty of self-worth, he wrote. Oakland's warehouses have become hubs for artists and musicians in recent years. The Oakland-based weekly newspaper East Bay Express has attributed gentrification and rising rents in the Bay Area as putting the Northern California region's counterculture art scene in a crisis of space and money. The Oakland Fire Department confirmed to the press that they are currently working with a variety of agencies in the aftermath of the tragedy, including the Alameda County Sheriff's Department, the Oakland Police Department, the Alameda County Search and Rescue, and the American Red Cross, among others. Kelly asked the public to be patient as authorities look into the cause of the blaze and continue to search for missing and dead. We will be here for days and days to come, Kelly said. The second article on this that I have for you is off of the dailymail.co.uk, and it says, exclusive. The arrogant man behind a legal artist enclave where at least 33 died in fire checks into a hotel as friends claimed he laughed at warnings that squalid commune was a death trap. If I can get this to scroll up here a little bit. Poor little hamsters wore out from all the news that I've had to spit out to you. Okay, here we go. I think I've got it working now. These are the first pictures taken of the man who ran the doomed Oakland ghost ship warehouse since it burnt down in devastating fire on Friday night, killing at least 33 people. The URLs to these two articles are in the description of the video if you want to pull them up to take a look at pictures or video, or I've done that for your convenience. And the article goes on and says, Derek Ion Almenia was spotted just after checking into a smart hotel in Oakland City Center last night with his wife, Micah Allison. The pair ignored all questions from the Daily Mail online, but a pal who was with them, who declined to give his name, said they currently had no comment, just saying no statements before hurrying them into an elevator. This comes as a longtime friend of Alameda told dailymail.com that the warehouse Alameda operated was rancid, covered in feces, and frequented by drug users. She described Almena as an arrogant man who was so self-involved that he laughed off warnings his artist commune was a potential death trap and allegedly ignored repeated safety warnings. And there's several pictures here that you can take a look at. And the article goes on and says, in an earlier phone call to Almenian's phone, the same friend told dailymail.com he's not available. We will release a statement. Upset is really not the word when we have the magnitude of this tragedy. I think it was supposed to be tragedy of this magnitude, but I read it like it was written. It says, if you can't really describe how that feels. There's no words to describe the magnitude of the loss of life and the sorrow. Ask if Almena regretted his insensitive Facebook post after the fire in which he moaned about losing his furniture and art collection in the tragedy. The man said, let's say we would like to look for the next post, okay? There will be another statement. There will be release for the media. Almena's Facebook post has become a lightning rod of anger at the death trap warehouse where the party took place. Commenting on the anger over Almena's Facebook post and allegations he had ignored numerous warnings, the art commune was dangerous and he had failed to make it safer held there. The man said, I think at this point the people are going to lash out. I think that's sad. That's the focus. Gravity of it is hard to even comprehend. And there's more pictures of the fire in the warehouse. And it says the couple's 3 children were seen being loaded into a car outside the hotel and were driven off by a woman wearing some form of an ID badge. The eyewitness said it looks like the woman was an official of some capacity. This comes as it emerged. Almena was warned repeatedly that he had created a death trap with laughed off concerns. DailyMail.com has learned. A death of Derek Ion Almina, a friend of Derek Ion Almina, claims the venue operator was so arrogant that he brushed off any fears surrounding his amazing art space. Danielle Bordeaux, who has known Almina and his wife Micah Allison for 8 years, even claims one visitor to the warehouse, known as the Oakland Ghost Ship, was so concerned about the state of the property that she told her firefighter husband, who arranged for an immediate fire investigation. She claims the local fire department carried out an inspection 2 years ago and warned Almina of several fire safety violations, branding the warehouse a tinderbox, but still nothing was done. At least 33 people perished at the rave on Friday night at the structure, with many more still missing. Shortly after the blaze, Almina wrote on Facebook to say he and his wife Micah and their 3 children were okay, and then moaned about losing his furniture in the tragedy. He wrote, "Confirmed, everything I worked so hard for is gone. Blessed that my children and Micah were at a hotel and safe and sound. It's as if I have awoken from a dream filled with opulence and hope to be standing now in poverty of self-worth." This comes as a worrying picture begins to emerge of the inside of the ghost ship, where several people are believed to live, some in an indoor RV park. Visitors have described a squalid scene where cat feces and used condoms litter the limited floor space. Junk and art is piled high in every room. Nails protrude from stairs made out of old pallets. Brick work crumbles in the walls, and drug use is rife among the inhabitants. And DailyMail.com has also spoken to the nanny who worked for Almina and his wife, Micah, who tells how the couple would disappear to wild parties for 5 nights at a time, leaving her to care for their 3 children. Almina's insensitive Facebook post sparked outrage on Saturday, and Bordeaux told DailyMail.com that he had repeatedly ignored pleas to make the place safer. She said, "When people told him it was a death trap, he would laugh. In Derek's mind, he was creating this amazing art space, and everything going on there was the most amazing thing ever. I was disgusted by his Facebook post, but it was typical Derek. People were saying maybe he didn't know people were dead at that time. No, he knew. I'm telling you, anybody who was upstairs, if there was a fire started anywhere downstairs, the likelihood of you being able to get out of that building is so slim to none. And there were no fire alarms, no sprinklers, nothing." Bordeaux said Almina and his wife Micah moved into the warehouse with their children around 3 years ago. She said he rented the place for $5,000 a month and subletted space to several artists. The owner of the property has been identified as Chor Ning, and that's NG. So I'm just guessing at the pronunciation, who owns several buildings across the Bay Area. According to property record, inspectors found 2 violations at an apartment building in San Francisco he owns, including cracked walls. In Oakland, the city has received 4 complaints about another property owned by Ning in Chinatown, 3 for graffiti and 1 to do with sewer waste leaking from the property. None of the properties received as many complaints as the warehouse in Oakland, where the fire broke out at about 11:30 p.m. on Friday. The property has received 10 complaints over the past 10 years, the most recent involving a makeshift stairwell and unpermitted construction. She said Almina lived upstairs with his family, where they slept in wooden 4-poster beds he'd imported from Bali. The eccentric building operator created an indoor RV park downstairs, charging residents $500 a month per person, and would also make money renting the space for parties. The first quarter of the second floor was the family's residence. The rest of it was the dance area and the stage, Bordeaux explained. They had these crazy huge 4-poster Balinese beds up there, and huge wooden Balinese couches, and a pagoda. Downstairs was the RV park, and it was filled with a bunch of drug addicts who would come and go in 6 to 8 RVs on the bottom floor. It was $500 per person per month. His goal was always to have at least 10 people because the rent was $5,000 a month. In an ominous Facebook post from May 2014, Amina advertised his warehouse space. Chillingly, he wrote, "Smokers are welcome." And the ad said he was looking for artists to inhabit as often and long as desired, to and who manifest immediate change and loving revolution through dance, theater, crafting, poetics, dramatics, film, tantric, kitten juggling, and rude traffic directing. At this moment, women, dames, chicks, ladies, grannies of the girl type persuasion would be preferred. You can't make this stuff up. Bordeaux claims drug use did not occur, or I'm sorry, Bordeaux claims drug use did occur at the enclave, but it was travelers coming and going and taking crystal meth and not residents. And the mother of two, who has a son who attended school with Amina's children, said she and others had become increasingly alarmed about the living conditions at the ghost ship. She said the property became more and more squalid as time went on. There were piles of wood with nails sticking out, cat feces, tall piles of laundry, and mildewed clothes. There would be food all over the place, she said. Most of the windows on the bottom floor were blacked out from the piles of wood and everything. People are calling it a staircase, but would you call it a jungle gym staircase? It was crates. He at one point cleaned out a piano store, 35 pianos and 6 organs, and they were all in there. 2 years ago, Amina hosted a teacher apprehension party at the warehouse for parents from his children's elementary school. Afterwards, one mom told her firefighter husband about several fire safety violations inside, and the fire department came over and told Amina to get it up to code, Bordeaux claims. She said, "The woman told me afterwards, my husband says the place is a tinderbox." She said there was a formal inspection and they were in violation, but also they lied to them and said at one time people weren't living there. In truth, people were living there since day one, and the landlord knew it too. Everyone who's been in that building knows it was a fire hazard. A nanny who worked for the couple has painted a very similar picture of the warehouse and described Amina and his wife as crazy. Mariah Benedivs worked for the couple for a year at their previous home in Oakland just before they moved to the warehouse 3 years ago. She was just 16 when she was put in charge of their 3 children, a boy now aged 5 and 2 girls now 8 and 14. She told dailymail.com, "At first they were more stable, but they seemed to start to decline. I remember having a conversation with Micah, the wife. She would say, 'Oh, we danced under the moon. It was this transcendent experience.' I was like, 'Cool.' While I was watching your kids for like 5 days straight and you weren't here." At the time, the youngest child was 1. They would throw parties even before they had the warehouse space, and they would rent other spaces or had friends who had warehouse space. I wouldn't say they disappear without contact. They'd say we were going to go and have fun, and they were going to be gone a bit longer." The children were upset. The older one would go or would be defiant and not want to listen, and the younger ones would cry for help or cry for them. Speaking about Dad Almena, she said he always seemed to be off his head. It seemed like on some substance. I never saw firsthand him taking any drugs, but people within the circle of friends would talk about it. She added he was just arrogant and self-involved. Age 20, said Almena was a photographer but would also organize huge parties. She visited the family in Ghost Ship toward the end of 2014 and recalls, "The thing about the stairs is totally true. They made them from wood pallets. It was a death trap. I felt so unsafe just going up and down the stairs. It was scary in there. It was dark. I don't think they even had running water. They were doing their laundry on the roof, and there was a ladder to the roof. There was holes in the wall parts of brick missing, all this rubble in the back, broken concrete everywhere. It was like a maze. You had to watch where you were stepping. There was stuff everywhere. Mariah was upset that there um, that there were children living in there. She said, I would hear things about people in the circle. There would be used condoms on the floor. There were nails sticking out of the floor too. It was just not a good place. It was a terrifying place for children. It was a terrifying place for me, and I was 18 at the time. It was so creepy being in there. The people there were just really sketchy. Mariah described Amin as selfish and negligent and blames him for the blaze. He neglected to take any action as far as the safety of the building while having people in there. That's just total neglect, she said. There wasn't even a sprinkler system in there. How can you have a party in there when it's clearly not safe? Whether it's an accident or not, it's something that could have been prevented. Mariah said she was not surprised by Almena's distasteful Facebook post after the fire. It was disgusting. It was a reflection of who he is. It's all about him, she said. Like something he would say. The things he would say were very off-putting. He would use super vulgar language. He would make me feel uncomfortable. Amina has not posted another message since his much criticized update after the fire. His whereabouts are currently unknown. DailyMail.com asked Oakland police if they were investigating Amina or the owner, Chor Ning. A spokesperson said there was not currently a criminal investigation, but Oakland City officials were looking into the legality of the setup. The spokesperson said this is not a criminal investigation right now. The city has been around the block looking into the property with all those questions about permits, subletting, and what is legal and what's not. That's something the city will look into. And that's the end of that article. If you like what we're doing here, give it a thumbs up, pass it around, sub to the channel. Let people know that we're trying to bring them the truth of what's going on in the news. Thanks.